I'm not 1000% on that, but I think it's called Banshee Dash is the other one, and we don't see that here.
Right. So that's pretty interesting because that's usually the tool that I think that you see in this matchup. And on the other side, I actually didn't see Mufasa's variation, but we can assume it's the usual upgraded-ish Jackie. Oh, nice corner pressure to start with, though. Weird way to switch sides.
Well, it works out for Gilateen's already. Wow. Okay, now keep in mind that they're coming into this. This is not the first time that they've played. Again, they did play in the qualifiers for this, and Gilateen took it. So they're going to be building on that in their mix-ups and how they play.
Yeah, so the way that he was hovering over Robocop makes me think that maybe Robocop was a pick earlier on, but I would assume that Sindel also was. Probably don't want to try something new if you've already done something that works.
For sure. So far, it is working. Backs off to a little bit more safety. Oh, I spoke about safety again. I spoke it out of existence. Oh, no. It was the risk, but it paid off.
Yeah, I mean, that was really scary. You're betting everything on that. That's obviously very unsafe, but lands in it. One of the worst feelings ever. All right, let's see what the full combo is. Doesn't have the, like, air floats. This is pretty much the maximum that you're going to be getting. But, oh, wow, a lot of raw overheads hitting. Those 4-2, considered pretty slow, but sometimes people just don't block them, and there we go. It's another instance of it.
He was definitely neutral ducking right there. You could see him just not block. So the fact that it was an overhead is not really why it hit. It was just going to work. Look at this. Gilateen is... Okay, the up 3 with the big whiff. It's a huge chance.
Ooh, that was a little bit weird way that ended, but did manage to get some pressure afterwards. However, just so much left lead. Yeah, that was going to be chipped sooner or later, I think. And whoa, the brutal. You don't see that brutal very often because people don't really go to whip and flip that much anymore, at least.
I really like how that was played by Gilateen. You know, that scream spacing, anti-air scream really is what we saw, was extremely effective. I mean, that is the kind of thing that can happen. As far as making it happen on purpose, though, it was quite impressive.
Yeah, it's I mean, the whip and flip is such a good tool. Like, people look at it as, like, it can do the crushing blow, you can get over projectiles and such, but realistically, also, it's one of her best combo enders. She does have the armor breaker, the straight whip, I guess, but it's not necessarily what you always want to end with, because this one, I mean, it gives you such a good knockdown, it gives you such a good screen carry, because it does go super far, and of course it has all of its other pluses. So I really like seeing whip and flip. It's just that it was paired with some interesting things before that people like didn't want to use as much, but yeah, I don't know, she's got so many good options. That's the thing about Sindel, right?
She's good.
Yeah, like 90% of her moves are super viable.
All right, it's not going to be Jackie anymore. Going over to Geras here, which is the character that Mufasa said to expect as a backup if that comes to that. So this tells me maybe that it was that Jackie beforehand that just didn't work out when they played previously. What do we got here? We got Bed of Spikes, Shifting Sands, and Quicksand. So a pretty common build here for Geras. More damage focused kind of build. Get in, damage focused.
Yeah. I mean, we don't usually see too many people go to the grappler variation of Geras anymore, which is kind of a bummer. I mean, I love seeing it, but I think Tweety's kind of led the way as far as like what most people are now picking as far as Geras goes. But of course, this Sand Trap, the enhanced Sand Trap, is always going to be extremely good. Ooh, maybe could have got a conversion from that up 3.
And no defensive bar too. Mufasa always pumping up, 300 plus. If you got a bar with this character, always going to be a threat.
Yeah,
okay, so he's checked that a couple times, and then the buffer here, nice spacing on that, just outside of the forward 4 range. That cartwheel just not quite far enough.
Yeah, now it's going to be really hard to avoid chip here. Oh, just a bunch of down ones. Yeah, could have seen maybe again, just referencing Tweety a lot, just because Tweety is really the one who puts this character in the spotlight so much, but the down 4 Sand Trap would have been a really good way to chip out there, and it's pretty safe to, I think, even Sindel's wake-up options. But yeah, this is looking a lot better than I think that Jackie was working out.
Yeah. Well, in again is Mufasa to try to make things happen again. It's quite light. Maybe expecting another wake-up. Funky, here we go, though.
Those body splashes landing really weird, but you know what? It's not really not working. All right, you're trying to read the breakaway. No breakaway, but you're still going to get the nice knockdown at least.
Ah, okay. That was actually a punish on reaction. I really like the utility there. And then coming in with the overhead again. This is, again, it didn't hit before because it was overhead. It hit because Mufasa wasn't blocking, but Mufasa is blocking now. Although the low catching him.
Yeah, just a lot of hits in a row, little tiny hits, none of the big conversions. I mean, this isn't a haircut. Okay, oh, did that break away though? Yeah, that caught the breakaway.
It was a breakaway. Yeah, that was the question here. And in fact, even if there hadn't been a breakaway, like maybe Gilateen was dead anyway, but definitely with the breakaway. For sure it's over. Ties it up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just another like notice. Like you got to try it, right? When you're down a round, you just might as well try the breakaway. It's just something to look at. But yeah, I do think that was probably going to be game no matter what. That was that's one of the things about Garrus, right? His combos don't really get scaled super heavily, super early on, and they do so much damage. And I mean, just even his combo starters, like the amp bed of spikes itself does over like 100 damage. It's ridiculous. So yeah, you kind of just have to expect that you're dead. And yeah, this looks like it's working out. Like I said, the Garrus pick, able to control the space a little bit more, Sand Trap a little bit more of a threat in that like neutral range that that Sindel really likes to be in, and of course just the damage.
Very quickly to RoboCop here. Now again, let's check out what the build is. There are a few different ways to go with RoboCop. Will it be, I would guess probably low shot, probably air charge versus Garrus is really useful to get over the
Sand Trap.
Yeah, air charge, flamethrower, low shot. That's a very common build. So you have a nice mid in the flamethrower, which gives you big plus frames on hit, especially on amplify. But even apart from that, you have the annoyance of the zoning stuff. You have the ability to get over Sand Trap. And as you jump back, you present this threat of potentially doing air charges, so you can get things like dash forward, cheeky little grab.
Yeah, one short hop here is all it's going to take to get that crushing blow charge. Well, there we go, just like a normal punish charge. Yeah, definitely understand. Wow, actually just punished that with a raw flamethrower?
It's very active. I really like the utility of that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's working out so far, and honestly, this pick is working out so far extremely well. All right, just go into the big gun. I cannot remember the name of that for the combo.
Oh, no, and then chooses to throw. It's a very curious choice. Wow.
Yeah, maybe didn't even expect that. Maybe it was just gonna be ready to throw on any sort of like advantage frames there, and it just happened to be the punish, and he was like, wait a minute. But you know what? Regardless, I mean, it's such a big life lead. It works out, especially, you know, this is I think the first time that I've seen RoboCop in tournament, or one of the first times, not the first, since the buff to the health up to 1100. So this is nice to see.
I really do think he's strong. Yeah, the fact that he's got that 1100 health means that he gets to make more decisions before dying. Like right now, this would be more injurious to a character with less health. I mean, it's gonna do a lot of damage anyway, to be clear, but you know, he is gonna be able to survive at least another hit or two.
Yeah, or you know, compared to somebody like Jackie, like more than that.
Yeah.
And you know, all it takes is just like a few hits. I mean, that's the thing too, is if you have a little bit of health, you can knock somebody away and do so much potential damage in zoning or with like the shield crushing blows. So he's just got this opportunity every single time with just having that extra health.
Haven't seen any flaws here from Gilateen. He's keeping it pretty patient. That is breakaway fromable and punishable, but you gotta do it real fast.
Break away from a bowl.
I don't know.
No, I know there's not. What?
In fact, I think the slowness of it is actually why it worked, because Mufasa went up and was definitely blocking immediately and then stopped. But now we got a situation where it just almost chip damage away from death.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a lot of jump backs. Oh, just goes for the low auto 9, and that has to be demoralizing, I guess would be the word. Being like going up and be like, yeah, you're gonna do something on wake up. You're like, oh, you're not, and then getting hit by the raw fatal blow. And that was such a risk too, because there was barely even enough life left to survive anything through the armor. So, hey, whatever. I mean, if it works, it works. But yeah, that's got to feel bad to get hit by.
So now we may be seeing a battle of counter picks. Is the idea maybe to go back to Jackie at this point? Again, I think the RoboCop does have some tools to deal with her, but I could see that maybe being a better call than sticking with Garrus. I don't want to portray this as being like a bad matchup for Garrus necessarily, but that may be the call here.
Yeah.
What it is, yeah.
For sure. I mean, just being able to jump back and wait for Garrus to commit to something is a really, really nice tool. That kind of like aerial space has always been an angle that Garrus has some trouble dealing with, like when it's like Cabal Buzzsaws or Jade Projectiles, stuff like that. And so same thing, you know, just jumping back, being able to shield charge. But on the other side, you know, the air shield charge is going to be very good at stopping Jackie as an air-to-air. This RoboCop's got the upwards auto 9, which is one of the better anti-airs in the game, if you can read the situation correctly. And wow, look at that, immediately going for the air charge. I like this playstyle from Gilateen, just no fear.
He actually called out the jump approach, but it was slightly early. So Mufasa spending all that bar. So he is the kind of Jackie who really likes to spend it. That's gonna be a whip punish.
Oh yeah, I mean that flamethrower was a great call, but then amplifying it was a big mistake. Could have been punished a lot more.
Yeah, again, very happy to spend meter. I mean, not that that's a bad thing, it's just the style, and right now Mufasa is in with it.
Oh, still taking some damage from the damage over time, but all right, let's see how this corner pressure goes. Oh, oh my god!
That's so sick.
Gilateen's playstyle is incredible. I cannot believe just the way that he's playing. I mean, honestly, it's working really well. It makes it feel like RoboCop is just threatening kind of from anywhere, but because he's kind of willing to do a lot from everywhere. And again, a great read. I love that. Being able to go for like the whiff cancel too is a big deal. We haven't seen the crushing blow yet, but we've seen these air charges work very well. Oh.
Okay, well, he at least got a little bit in there. And now maybe back to zoning. I almost wouldn't be surprised to see him look more for Anthony. Oh, that is indeed what he was looking for. He was looking to jump back.
Ooh, bad breakaway on an accident, maybe. There was nothing coming after that. Now there's no defensive bar to break away from this. Gotta get out of the corner. Oh, wake up down two. I mean, it was a good call. That was very punishable. But yeah, that's gonna be that.
That's that. Yeah.
You're nothing.
So that activity, that mobility by Mufasa definitely got him into the corner. Question is how obvious about, oh, there it is. It's the read again from Gilateen. Very consistently having air-to-air reads, anti-air reads.
Again. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's one way to beat out Jackie in the air. She's got one of the better air-to-airs in the game, but hey, if you can beat it out, then you really make her second guess whether or not she wants to go to the air so much. Oh, interesting. That must have been a really late breakaway in an attempt to get a punish. Didn't manage to get the full punish, but did get the grab. And again, the neutral flamethrower amplified to kind of make it a mix-up. That's a pretty unique way to use that, but I like it, and it's worked out pretty well.
Here's where Mufasa wants to be. He's got that bar. Okay, well, finds a hit, but not into too much. And now, yeah, shout outs to that. Not many characters can punish from that range, but we got, again, Gilateen with this distance game. Again, reading it. The fourth time, I think, of specifically reading jump kick into charge versus air approach. Like a very specific read. Now, again, you can whiff cancel that, like you said, so you jump up into the sky. You're not entirely vulnerable,